स्वागत करें। उसके साथ साथ रिस्पेक्टेड प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी एजुकेशन प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर निहारिका बोहरा, वाइस चांसलर DSEU, मिस्टर हिमांशु गुप्ता, डायरेक्टर एजुकेशन, मिस्टर राजन आनंदन, और दिस सेशन इज मॉडरेटेड बाय अतिशु जी। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
हेलो हेलो, जो कैमरामैन आगे है ना, आप लोग एक्सक्यूज मी, आप लोग यहाँ तो साइड पे हो जाइए या वो हो जाए। So good afternoon everyone, and welcome to all of you, and I think that अभी आप लोगों से सबसे मुलाकात हुई, सबसे कुछ बातचीत हुई. I think we are all infected with the energy of the students who are in the hall, and first of all I think one round of applause for all the children who may not be here in this gathering but who have done amazing work. And I think also many congratulations to the Directorate of Education, Principal Secretary and Director are here, क्योंकि उन्होंने the way that the Education Department has done something so innovative, because अक्सर हम सरकारों के बारे में सोचते हैं कि एक ढर्रे से चलती हैं. So the work that has been done by the entire team education, and of course last but definitely not the least, our Honorable Education Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Manish Sisodia, जिनका ये पूरा विजन और ब्रेन चाइल्ड है जिसकी वजह से आज हम यहाँ पे हैं. So मुझे पता है सब लोगों को वहाँ से खींच के लेके आना सबका मन नहीं है बच्चों को छोड़ना, but I thought that we could just have a brief discussion, and if there are any questions, suggestions, inputs जो आप लोगों से हैं. But first of all I would like to start by asking the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, जिनकी ये विजन है कि थोड़ा सा वो अपनी बात को रखें about क्या आपने सोचा, क्यों आपने इसकी शुरुआत की, ये जर्नी कहाँ से शुरू हुई.
Thank you, Atishi, and first of all, I also would start by saying कि दिल्ली की जो टीम एजुकेशन है, I am also part of that, but डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ एजुकेशन बोलिए, टीम एजुकेशन बोलिए, सबने मिलके पूरी गवर्नेंस की परिभाषा बदल दी है. आज मैं मीडिया में भी रहा हूँ, एक्टिविज्म में रहा हूँ, मैंने खुद देश में, दुनिया में इस तरह का बच्चों का प्रोग्राम होते हुए नहीं देखा है. और कहाँ से आया, कैसे आया, ये सब तो आप सब भी जानते हैं कि क्यों. गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में मैं जाता था तो वहाँ सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम यही है कि बच्चे केवल और केवल एक ही सपना देखते हैं, और ये बात गवर्नमेंट स्कूल की नहीं है. आज हमारे बड़े से बड़े प्राइवेट स्कूल में चले जाइए, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में चले जाइए, आप बच्चों से पूछिए कि क्या करना है. उनके पास कैरियर उनके माइंड में है, इंजीनियर, डॉक्टर, UPSC, मैनेजमेंट, एडवोकेट, जर्नलिस्ट, whatever they think. लेकिन कुल मिला के 99% बच्चे अपने आप को कहीं एक जॉब सीकर विद टैलेंट, जॉब सीकर विद सम स्किल वहां देखते हैं. 99.9% मैं कह सकता हूं. और आई हैव गॉन टू बिगेस्ट प्राइवेट स्कूल्स इन दिल्ली, आई हैव बीन टू आवर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स. हर जगह मैंने बच्चों से पूछा. लगभग 2 साल तक मैं, आतिशी, हमारे देन ऑफिसर्स जा के बच्चों से सुबह असेंबलीज में पूछते थे क्या करना है, क्यों पढ़ रहे हो, क्या करना चाहते हो. 99.9% आंसर हमेशा एक जॉब होता था. अब समस्या यह है कि जब सारे बच्चे जॉब के लिए ही पढ़ेंगे तो जॉब देगा कौन, नौकरी देगा कौन. पहला इंपॉर्टेंस था उसका. दूसरा, हम सब बात करते हैं देश विकसित नहीं हुआ, देश डेवलप्ड कंट्री नहीं बना. देश डेवलप्ड कंट्री बनेगा कैसे? जॉब सीकर्स इकोनॉमी कैन नॉट बी ए डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमी. जॉब सीकर्स कंट्री कैन नॉट बी ए डेवलप्ड कंट्री. हम जो भी बात करते रहे, बड़ी बड़ी $1 ट्रिलियन, $1 मिलियन, $1 बिलियन, कुछ नहीं होने वाला अगर हमने अपनी पूरी की पूरी जनरेशन को केवल और केवल जॉब सीकर माइंडसेट से खड़े करना है. सो आइडिया ये था कि हम इस जॉब सीकर माइंडसेट को जॉब प्रोवाइडर माइंडसेट बोलिए, एंटरप्रेन्योर माइंडसेट बोलिए, उसमें कन्वर्ट करें। तो उसमें इनिशियली मैं कहूँ तो मैकिन और पृथ्वी, तारक, नीरज, आई कांट सी देयर फेसेस हियर, आई मीन यस, ऑल ऑफ देम आर देयर। इन सब लोगों ने बहुत शानदार भूमिका निभाई, क्योंकि मैं एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर हूं, मैं पॉलिटिशियन हूं, मैं एक रेस्पॉन्सिबल पोस्ट पे बैठा हूं, लेकिन फ्रैंकली मुझे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का ई नहीं आता है। बट आई एम ग्लैड कि एक टीम बनती चली गई और उस टीम ने इतना शानदार, ऑफ कोर्स पीपल सिटिंग हियर ऑन द डैश, हमारे ऑफिसर्स और टीचर्स और सबने तो भूमिका निभाई। पर उसके बाद जब ये सब होने लगा, सबसे पहले एक स्कूल को हमने पकड़ा था, खिचड़ीपुर स्कूल। पुष्पेंद्र यहाँ हैं, पुष्पेंद्र जी के सहयोग से, डीटीयू में के प्रोफेसर हैं पुष्पेंद्र जी, डीटीयू में पढ़ाते हैं, और इनके सहयोग से हमने एक स्कूल में बच्चों को मेंटर किया कि करके देखते हैं क्या हो सकता है। और वहाँ जब शुरुआत हुई तो जिन बच्चों को हमने 2000 रुपये इन्वेस्टमेंट दिया, बच्चों के अपने एंडेवर से वहाँ कोई 20,000, कोई 50,000 बना के आ गया थोड़े दिन में। हमें लगा ये तो अच्छा है यार, बच्चों का कॉन्फिडेंस भी बढ़ा, हमारा भी बढ़ा। हमने फिर उसमें 60 करोड़, हिमांशु है ना, 60 करोड़ का सीड मनी रख दिया। और आज 60 करोड़ का वो सीड मनी, मुझे नहीं पता कि मतलब ऐसे देखें क्वांटम में तो 60 करोड़ का सीड मनी था, 3 लाख बच्चे थे, ऑलमोस्ट 50,000 आइडियाज बच्चों ने डेवलप किए। उनमें से बहुत सारे बच्चों ने अपना सीड मनी इतना इन्वेस्ट किया था, उतना हो सकता है कमा लिया होगा, हो सकता है कुछ ने ना कमाया हो। बट आई थिंक द काइंड ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस यू सी हियर, द काइंड ऑफ ग्रोथ, द काइंड ऑफ ड्रीम वी कैन हैव बेस्ड ऑन दिस, मुझे नहीं पता है 60 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट का इससे ज्यादा आउटकम कुछ हो सकता है। तो 60 करोड़ खर्च करके अगर हम अपनी अगली जनरेशन को कॉन्फिडेंस दे सकें, 60 करोड़ का मतलब बच्चों के लिए वो इन्वेस्टमेंट है। अलग अलग स्टार्टअप, आप सब लोग स्टार्टअप इन्वेस्टर और वो सब देखते हैं, आप सब के लिए मैथमेटिक्स है कि आपने 1 लाख रुपए डाला तो 2 लाख बना कि नहीं बना, आपने 1 लाख रुपए डाला तो 5 लाख बना कि नहीं बना, बनने के पर्सपेक्टिव है कि नहीं है। मेरे लिए ये है कि मैंने 60 करोड़ डाला सरकार की किटी से, मुझे 3 लाख बच्चों में कॉन्फिडेंस मिला कि नहीं मिला, मुझे तो मिल रहा है। सबसे बड़ा इन्वेस्टर तो मैं हूं, मतलब मैं मीन्स हमारी टीम एजुकेशन जो इस पे काम कर रही है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी। लेकिन जितने इन्वेस्टर्स यहाँ आए हैं, जितने इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, मतलब लीडिंग बिजनेस पर्सन्स, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स यहाँ हैं, मैं आप सबसे अब ये कहना चाहता हूँ, टाई से भी पूरी टीम यहाँ पर है, कि देखिए कोई भी सरकार विद बेस्ट ऑफ देयर इंटेंशंस एंड एफर्ट्स इस तरह के प्रयोग को यहीं तक ला सकती है। हम बहुत ईमानदारी से इन्वेस्टमेंट का फंड दे सकते हैं, हमारी पूरी डेडिकेटेड टीम मिलकर इस पूरे प्रोग्राम को एग्जीक्यूशन प्लान बना सकती है, यहां तक ला सकती है। अब इन बच्चों को यहां से आगे लेके जाना, इन आइडियाज को, इन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को, या कहिए इन स्टार्टअप्स को यहां से आगे लेके जाना, वो हमारे बस में नहीं है, वो आपके बस में है। हमारा रोल यहां तक था, इससे आगे रोल आप लोगों का है। This country belongs to everybody. These children are not just our children because they study in our schools. They are not just their parents' children because they are born in their houses, in their families. They are country's children. ये देश के बच्चे हैं। इन देश के बच्चों में से कुछ लोग, हो सकता है कल के टाटा बिरला, फेसबुक जैसी कंपनियां बनाने वाले लोग बैठे होंगे, कुछ हो सकता है बड़ी बड़ी चीजें, वी डोंट नो। आज से 20-25 साल बाद का सबसे सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर, बिजनेसमैन शायद आज स्कूल में ही होगा, हो सकता है यहां हो कोई। तो लेट्स नर्चर देम, लेट्स हेल्प देम। गवर्नमेंट यहीं तक मदद कर सकती थी, बट इससे आगे का रोल हमारा भी रहेगा, बट मैक्सिमम आप लोगों का है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू सर। आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात करी तो अब मुझे लगता है स्वाभाविक है कि आई मस्ट गो टू द इन्वेस्टर ऑन द पैनल। As our host and anchor mentioned, we have on the panel Mr. Rajan Anandan. He is the MD of Sequoia Capital. और मुझे लगता है कि कोई भी ऐसा बिजनेस, ऐसा स्टार्टअप नहीं होगा जो ये सोचता ना हो कि Sequoia Capital हमें फंड करे, क्योंकि Sequoia Capital ने जिन जिन कंपनीज को फंड किया है, they have become some of the biggest companies in the world. So जो venture capitalist होते हैं, Rajan, they see businesses, they see startups, and they judge them as investment worthy. Okay, is it worth investing in them? Will they go forward? So as a venture capitalist, when you come and see the 125 odd startups that our students have started, what do you think? What do you feel? What do you think that this means for the future of the country, for the future of the economy? So we'd like to hear about that.
Yeah, hi. So thank you, first of all, for having all of us here. You know, I must say, I've spent over 2 decades in the technology industry, and now I spend every single waking minute meeting entrepreneurs in India, right? And, you know, I often wonder, much like we all do, what is the future of India? Not in the next year or 2 or 10 or 20. And I think this morning, you know, it became very clear to me what the future of India could be. And I think that is about entrepreneurship, as you just mentioned, right? It's an extraordinary thing what you have done. So I think to all of you and many of the organizing team members, and I know there's an army of your volunteers outside, and as TIE Delhi, we had 500 mentors, right, who were involved in this. I must congratulate you for pulling this off, right? Because in many ways, you know, India has a nation with 5,000 years of entrepreneurship. That's what we have, 5,000 years of entrepreneurship. And really, you know, we're at this tipping point as a nation where it's all coming together, this extraordinary talent, this extraordinary set of opportunities that cut across sectors, and in many ways, a new generation of entrepreneurs who've been able to build very big companies, right? And I think over the next decade, we're going to see this movement accelerate. But what I saw today is, in many ways, the answer to the biggest question India has, which is, how do we create 100 million jobs? We need 100 million jobs in the next decade. That's India's mandate, right? And it's unlikely that unicorns, we now have, you know, there's a unicorn being minted every week in India. So we have 90 plus unicorns. But it's hard to see even 1,000 unicorns, which we'll get to over the next decade, creating 100 million jobs. But it's much easier for me to see how these kids, you know, and many more thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of these entrepreneurs can actually create 100 million jobs. So I think on behalf of India, I wanted to thank all of you. I live in Delhi, so on behalf of Delhi, I wanted to thank you. And I don't know whether you know this, but Delhi NCR is the startup capital of India, right? So, and that is before Delhi blasters showed up on the scene.
That's exactly what I was going to say, that right now it's a startup capital. Now there's going to be a blast after this with all these young business blasters.
Right? Delhi, by the way, Delhi only has, we did this research as TIE Delhi 3 years ago. Delhi had 7,000, Delhi NCR, so it includes the National Capital Region. We had 7,000 registered startups out of the 60,000. So what you have done with Blasters is you had 50,000 student teams that came together to form companies, and already you have 126. So, you know, very, very exciting, and can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajan. So I think we look forward to Sequoia Capital investing in some of the young entrepreneurs outside. Rajesh ji, Principal Secretary Education, IAS Officer. एक देश में तकरीबन सब बच्चों का सपना होता है कि हमें यूपीएससी करना है, यूपीएससी में जाना है. आज भी मैं सुबह एक स्कूल में थी, कालका जी में, वीर सावरकर जो हमारा स्कूल है, तो वहाँ पे भी बहुत सारी लड़कियाँ कह रही थी हमें आईएएस अफसर बनना है. तो as someone who is a decision maker, an IAS officer, I think आप लोगों के बारे में बहुत एक यूनिक चीज़ होती है कि मल्टीपल डिपार्टमेंट्स आप रिपीटेडली देखते हैं कि समटाइम्स एजुकेशन, समटाइम्स हेल्थ केयर, और शायद देश में क्या क्या समस्याएं हैं वो एक आईएएस अफसर को पता होता है बिकॉज ऑफ हाउ मच एक्सपोजर. सो आपको क्या लगता है दैट व्हाट इज द चैलेंज दैट द बिजनेस ब्लास्टर्स इज एड्रेसिंग?
Okay. First of all, I would like to congratulate the Honorable Minister, Sri Manish Sisodia ji. And it is, sir, it is your leadership, it is your vision, it is your mission that the whole team is working under your leadership. And the result is here to see today. Our kids, their confidence and their enthusiasm. And I'm also very much pleased to see the enthusiasm and the interest of the investors who are present here. I heard from some of the investors today that we didn't have this kind of business blasters or this kind of EMC. We really missed that, and today's kids are very lucky to have it. I really felt, even I myself felt that we didn't have that kind of opportunities. Thanks to you, sir, and thanks to the Delhi government that we have this kind of an event here. And I see it's not just the Business Blasters event. This is just only one component of the whole the EMC curriculum. We have about 8 lakh kids who are being given this exposure from 9th to 12th. And it's only the 11th and 12th kids participate in this event. Our EMC is a much wider concept. The entrepreneurship minds, it is only the change in the mindset, that aptitude and the attitude that we want to create amongst our children. The Business Blasters is just one component, as I said. The larger component is they indulge in the team play. They participate in creating the innovative ideas, imaginative ideas. It's the curiosity. They participate. They go and meet the stakeholder, market. They conduct market surveys. They analyze the data, and they plan a business venture. And not that, just they execute, and today it is before us. It is 50,000 teams. They have worked on the 50,000 ideas, out of which the best 126 is before us today. And under the entire process, the amount of learning that has gone through amongst our kids is much, much larger and much wider learning. It is the life skills that our children have learned, how to present, the communication skills, the confidence, the team play, the imagination, the creativity, planning and a business venture, executing that, all that learning. This is the real outcome of our EMC program. As Atishi Madam has put it, how do we find this as a challenge? Of course, starting in a business venture, finding capital and business expertise, going into the market, selling the product or service, it's always challenging. The society is changing, and the demand is changing. The whole world is actually changing. What skills that we give to our students today may not be relevant in the next 10 to 15 years. The things will change. It is always challenging. Of course, to start in a business venture, a deeper analysis required. At the same time, the risk-taking ability, the attitude, the mindset. This is exactly the motto of this program, is that don't seek the job, become a job provider, rather than seekers to become a job provider. That's the one motive. The other motive is to give the life skill, give the life-changing, the living skills to the kids. Of course, as I said, we handle a diversified department. We get something of everything, but we are not experts of any particular field. Likewise, I'm sure with this kind of venture, this kind of an innovative program, I'm sure this is the first of its kind in the country. This is a lot of learning to the other states and other educational universities and other schools and setups to come up and implement it, and also to emulate that. Thank you so much.
So, aapka favorite, Rajesh ji? Will you, is there any startup that you are interested in investing in?
Of course, I'm not an investor. Of course, there are a lot of things that one can put their money. In fact, the painting that attracted me a lot. Our kids are so talented. Their paintings are so amazing. And if they can be supported, if I can invest, or these investors can put in their money, there's going to be tremendous potential in this area, and lot many other areas too. Thank you.
मैं भी यही सोच रही थी कि जब हमारे पहले भी बिजनेस ब्लास्टर्स के इवेंट्स हुए थे, so me and another of our colleagues, we were talking कि हमारे पास we don't have much money to invest, but these children definitely seem the best way by which we can become multi-millionaires. कि अगर हम उन्हें seed funding दे दें, so some of them might might actually go on to become some of the biggest business persons of the next few decades. Niharika ji, as you're the Vice Chancellor of Delhi Skill and Entrepreneurship University, आप इससे पहले IIM अहमदाबाद में प्रोफेसर थी. वहाँ पे IIM अहमदाबाद में आप इंक्यूबेशन एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के सेल को हेड कर रही थी. बहुत सारे जो यंग स्कूल में, कॉलेज में जो स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, जो मैनेजमेंट में, कॉर्पोरेट्स में, इवन बिजनेसेस के बारे में सोचते हैं, IIM अहमदाबाद जाना उनका सपना होता है. दैट एक दिन हम, दिस इज़ द बेस्ट इंस्टीट्यूशन. So you have seen some of the best and brightest minds who go on into the corporate sector. So जब आप यहाँ पे, you see some of these students, and you have seen a lot of students in your IIM years. What do you see as the similarity? What do you see as the difference? And आपको क्या लगता है कि as someone who's been a professor, what do you see as the life journey that some of these students might take from here?
So thank you so much for the interesting question. I must also start by just first congratulating and expressing my happiness at the magnificence of the event. I think I have often told my IMA students that you are the cream because what we are selecting from is just this set. There's a large set in the country which is very smart, very bright, but they just never had the opportunity to prepare and get here. So in fact, they're the cream because this is the only set that we looked at. So I don't think at the class 10, 12 age, there is so much difference. It is what happens post that, how they prepare, the kind of opportunities they get, the kind of mentors they have, and the kind of people who tell them कि तुम ये बन सकते हो, that the students reach the IIM Ahmedabad. So they're not smarter, they're not better. I have nothing against those students. They've been my dearest students. But I think when I've spoke to a number of students here today, and I've spoken to a lot of other students, I think they just did not have the opportunity. And I think something like this creates that pipeline, creates that opportunity, creates this thing. I could also do it. If they can do it, I can also do it. However, I think what good education does is it does train the mind to think in a certain way. Good education. It possibly allows people to start thinking of themselves as problem solvers. And I think the third most important thing that good education does is it allows people to not imitate, but it actually tells people that they can innovate. And I think an event like this or an experience like this possibly does all three. That I don't have to imitate, I can innovate. I can be a problem solver. And I think the most important thing that this does is, and I have said this in some of the work that I've written as well, that in fact management education is anti-entrepreneurship because it teaches people to think causally and not entrepreneurially, which is effectual. And I think experiences like this allow people to start knowing that it's not about really just saying, if I do this, this is where I will reach. I think it allows people to say, this is what I have, this is the future I want to create, let me see what are the ways in which I can create this future. It's been also termed as effectual thinking. And I think some of these things can only be learned through practice, through experience and through doing this. And I think therefore, at least if we were to put these students in front of some of our own students that I have taught, there may not be a big difference. And I don't say that to please the group. I think it's real.
You have made our day by saying that, though, I must tell you that. Himanshu ji, apart from being director education, you are also a Delhi boy. आप दिल्ली में पले बड़े हैं, दिल्ली में आपने IIT दिल्ली में अपना अंडरग्रेड किया है. आपको क्या लगता है कि when you were a student, if this was the kind of opportunity available, do you think your life might have taken a different course?
Definitely. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, our Minister of Education, एंड आतिशी जी, जिनकी लीडरशिप के अंदर ये पूरा प्रोग्राम डिज़ाइन किया गया। और मैं खुद दिल्ली से पढ़ा हुआ हूँ, आई हैव डन माई ग्रेजुएशन फ्रॉम IIT दिल्ली। तो उस समय सी द बिगेस्ट थिंग दैट बिजनेस ब्लास्टर्स हैज़ डन इज़ दैट नॉट ओनली आर स्टूडेंट्स, हमारे टीचर्स का भी अब एक माइंडसेट चेंज हो रहा है इन आर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल की यस, हम जो अपने बच्चों को अभी पढ़ा रहे हैं दैट इज़ नॉट जस्ट फॉर गिविंग देम जॉब्स, एंट्रेंस एग्ज़ाम का प्रिपरेशन करवाने के लिए या बोर्ड एग्ज़ाम पास करने के लिए, बट फॉर गिविंग देम एन अपॉर्चुनिटी कि अगर वो अपना भी कुछ करना चाहें, अपना बिजनेस खोलना चाहें तो दे कैन डू। तो उनको जो एक रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी और जो कॉन्फिडेंस जो ये प्रोग्राम दे रहा है वो जब हम स्कूल में थे तब नहीं था। इनफैक्ट मैं IIT में भी IIT से ग्रेजुएशन किया है, तो वहाँ पर भी जो हमारा एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप क्लब या हमारा एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप सेल था उस समय इन 2009 व्हेन आई पास्ड आउट, दैट वाज नॉट दैट कमिंग फॉरवर्ड कि आप अपना रिस्क लें, आप काम करें। सो आई थिंक स्कूल के अंदर ये जो अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया गया है ये सिर्फ स्टूडेंट्स के लिए नहीं, ये टीचर्स के लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट अब एक प्रोजेक्ट हो गया है, क्योंकि उनका भी अब माइंड उस डायरेक्शन में ट्रेन हुआ है कि यस, हमारे बच्चों को अब आगे चल के सिर्फ ये नहीं बोलना कि पढ़ाई करो, आपको एग्ज़ाम पास करना है, आपकी नौकरी लगेगी। टीचर्स को भी अब लगने लगा है कि यस, मेरे बच्चे कुछ अपना कर सकते हैं।
ग्रेट। इनफैक्ट ये एक बार ये एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप माइंडसेट करिकुलम की हमारी एक ट्रेनिंग चल रही थी, तो वन ऑफ द टीचर्स, एंड हमें लगता है ना कि गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स इज़ द परफेक्ट एग्जाम्पल ऑफ द लैक ऑफ रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी। तो हमारे एक सरकारी स्कूल के परमानेंट नौकरी वाले टीचर उठ के कहते हैं, मैडम अब तो मुझे भी लगता है अपनी सरकारी नौकरी छोड़ के अपना कोई एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का स्टार्टअप चलाना चाहिए। तो मुझे लगा कि शायद ये सही है। वो हमारे
आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू ऐड वन मोर थिंग कि इस प्रोग्राम का एक और अच्छा चीज़ जो गवर्नमेंट ने किया है वो ये कि जो ये बच्चे हैं अब ये 12th के बाद इनको कोई एंट्रेंस एग्जाम नहीं देना होगा ग्रेजुएशन के लिए, उनका ग्रेजुएशन का सीट पक्का हो गया है। दीज यूनिवर्सिटीज हैव कम फॉरवर्ड और उनको BBA के अंदर एडमिशन सिक्योर कर दिए गए हैं। आई थिंक सर दैट इज द बिगेस्ट थिंग दैट इज ऑल्सो देयर।
सो
थैंक यू।
I'll be opening this out for any questions, input, suggestions आप लोगों से. But before that, I think before we take views of all our, actually audience भी कहना सही नहीं है, हमारे investors और business persons हैं ये, मैं मनीष जी से पूछना चाहूँगी कि देखिए ये तो जो बगल वाले हॉल में चल रहा है ये डेफिनेटली ब्लास्ट तो है, सो आई थिंक ये नाम तो बिल्कुल अप्रोप्रिएट है प्रोग्राम का, पर इसका आप नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या देखते हैं? आपको क्या लगता है कि इसका क्या फ्यूचर होगा और जो हम पिछले 1.5-2 सालों से कर रहे हैं इसको कैसे आगे लेके जाएंगे?
आई थिंक पार्टली व्हाट हिमांशु हैज सेड कि हमारे बच्चों का इमीडिएट फ्यूचर देखें तो इन बच्चों का फ्यूचर काफ़ी सिक्योर है, क्योंकि इनको अब DTU में, DSU में, NSUT, IGDW, IP यूनिवर्सिटी, इनमें इनकी सीट सिक्योर हो गई हैं। जिन सीट्स को सिक्योर करने के लिए इन्हें अलग से बहुत रटने वाले कंपटीशन बीट करने पड़ते थे, वो एक पहलू है। दूसरा हिमांशु ने इंडिकेट किया, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आने वाले समय में ये प्रोग्राम एजुकेशन की डिक्शनरी, वोकेबुलरी बदल देगा। अभी एजुकेशन की वोकेबुलरी में मैक्सिमम बात जिन वर्ड्स की होती है वो है एक अच्छी सी नौकरी, पैकेज, कंपनी, किस कंपनी का कौन सा स्टेटस है उसके आधार पे बातचीत होती है, पैकेज कितना मिला या एक अच्छी सी नौकरी। ये पूरा एजुकेशन के जो गोल्स हैं उनकी वोकेबुलरी इसी के इर्द गिर्द घूमती है। तो आई एम क्वाइट श्योर कि 1-2 साल के अंदर अंदर ये प्रोग्राम, ये आइडिया पूरे देश में एजुकेशन की वोकेबुलरी बदलने वाला है। एजुकेशन की वोकेबुलरी में अच्छी सी नौकरी देने वाला बनना, नौकरी देने वाला, एंटरप्रेन्योर, कितने लोगों को जॉब दी, मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है, एंजल इन्वेस्टर, ये सारे शब्द, खासतौर से जो ये यहाँ बड़े बड़े इन्वेस्टर्स बैठे हैं, साथ में बैठे हैं, आप यकीन मानिए ये अभी स्कूल की वोकेबुलरी में नहीं है। आप लोगों की जिंदगी में जो वर्ड्स हैं, एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स, कमिटमेंट, कितने का प्रोग्रेस, ये सारे शब्द अभी स्कूल्स में नहीं है। स्कूल्स में केवल एक शब्द चलता है, नौकरी 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 नौकरी, पैकेज नौकरी पैकेज, कंपनी, सरकारी हो या प्राइवेट हो, और कॉलेजेस में भी लार्जली है। तो पहले तो वोकेबुलरी बदलने वाला है। स्कूल्स में टीचर्स की भाषा बदल रही है बच्चों के प्रति। दूसरा, और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट ड्रीम मैं फ्यूचर के रूप में देखता हूं. थोड़ा एम्बिशियस लग सकता है, थोड़ा यूटोपियन लग सकता है, लेकिन आई थिंक वी हैव टू हैव दैट ड्रीम कि आज से 20-25 साल में भी 15 साल 10 साल बाद की सबसे बड़ी कंपनी दुनिया की या सबसे बड़ी कंपनियां दुनिया की अगले 5 साल में हमारे स्कूलों से निकलेंगी. दैट्स द ड्रीम वी हैव. बड़ा आज लग सकता है, लेकिन आई थिंक अगर इतना बड़ा नहीं देखेंगे तो फिर शायद हम एक गवर्नमेंट प्रोग्राम बना के छोड़ देंगे, एक रिचुअल प्रोग्राम बना के छोड़ देंगे, विच आई डोंट बिलीव इन. इस प्रोग्राम को हमें यहां लेके जाना है कि अगले 4-5 साल में इस प्रोग्राम के जरिए जो कंपनियां सेटअप हों, why should a company like Facebook or Twitter or you name it today in the top of the world should not be seen taking birth in these classrooms, in these schools, in these companies. तो अगले 4, मैं इस ग्रुप की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, बट अगले 4-5 साल में, क्योंकि हम भी पहली बार कर रहे हैं और हमने भी काफी कुछ सीखा है इसको लेके. अभी अगले साल से इसमें हमने, हिमांशु जी ने, राजेश जी ने पूरा प्रोग्राम बनाया कि अभी हम गवर्नमेंट स्कूल को लेके आए थे. अगले साल से इसमें प्राइवेट स्कूल्स भी इक्वली शामिल होंगे और शायद 7th को दिल्ली के बहुत सारे प्राइवेट स्कूल्स इसी हॉल में आके बात करने वाले हैं कि हाउ दे आर गोइंग टू पार्टिसिपेट इन दिस बिजनेस ब्लास्टर प्रोग्राम. सो आज जो कंपनियां यहां बनेंगी या अगले 5 साल में जो बनेंगी, आई वुड लव टू सी देम कि अगले 10, 12, 15 साल में वो देश और दुनिया के फलक पे बैठी हों. दैट्स व्हाट वी वांट टू सी. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू. आई थिंक जब पराग अग्रवाल ट्विटर के सीईओ बने थे तो एक मीम चला था, मुझे लगता है नीरज यहीं पे उन्होंने मुझे भेजा था. उसमें ये बड़ी टेक कंपनीज के सीईओज की फोटो थी, पराग अग्रवाल, सत्य नडेला, सुंदर पिचई, और उसके ऊपर लिखा हुआ था, पढ़ेगा इंडिया तभी तो बढ़ेगा अमेरिका. And I think that really is what we are looking to change here. I would now like to open it out for the audience. बहुत esteemed लोग बैठे हुए हैं यहाँ पे. But just one second, there's one particular person whom I would like, अगर वो कुछ बोलें, रश्मि बंसल जी यहाँ पे हैं. रश्मि बंसल जी को अगर माइक दे दिए. रश्मि बंसल जी, for I'm sure many of you know, इनकी आइकॉनिक किताब स्टे हंग्री फूलिश, मुझे लगता है हम सब ने अगर पढ़ी नहीं है तो डेफिनेटली रेलवे स्टेशन और एयरपोर्ट्स के बुक स्टॉल्स पे लगी हुई हमेशा देखी है. बट शी हैड अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस अबाउट राइटिंग ऑन स्टार्टअप्स, राइटिंग ऑन बिजनेसेस, बिजनेस पर्सन्स. सो रश्मि जी, वी just like to have your thoughts on seeing some of the young persons here before we open it out to everyone. Thank you.
Well, very hungry and foolish, young students out there, and it's very inspiring. I think एक कहानी, एक business की अपनी कहानी है, और many congratulations for envisioning this program and taking it to this level. I think आप जो भी यहाँ पे जो बातें हो रही हैं, they are not just mere talk. Everything we are seeing translated to reality. और I am sure कि 15 साल में आपने जो आज बीज बोया है, एक seed जो you have put into the soil of everyone's mind is it's a fertile place. वो ऊपर उठ के आएगा और एक beautiful garden full of these companies which have grown from this endeavor will come forward, and I'm sure many stories, inspiring stories will be born from here. So congratulations, and let's make this program national and international.
So maybe one of the next books Rashmi ji might be coming out of the audience here. So I'd like to just open it out. If anyone,
कम है, थोड़ा सा बढ़ा सकते हैं क्या, जहाँ भी है थोड़ा वॉल्यूम रेज कर दें.
So I'd like to open it out कि माइक वहाँ पे दे दीजिएगा. For any questions, any inputs, any suggestions, the entire panel is here. हमारे investors भी हैं, professors भी हैं, government officials भी हैं. So as business persons, as investors, as thinkers, as people who are concerned about the country's future, आपके inputs भी और आपके सवाल भी, we would look forward to that.
I'm Dr. Kang. I run group of institutes by the name PCT in Dhaka, Ludhiana. I had 10 input to give. We run a very successful e-cell program there. and we have 180 students in MBA. We make groups of 6 students each. So sir, we make them form a company. So they don't go for private limited company. They generally go for partnership firm. It is actually registered. Then we open their current account. Then their GST number is taken and Udyog Aadhar number is taken in first semester. In second semester, they actually do business, and accounting teacher keeps their marks for project on accounting, whether they have kept good accounts, and marketing teacher looks at whether their marketing plan was okay or not. So for one semester, they file GST returns. They do business for the company. In third semester, we teach them how to liquidate the company, because these 6 may not do the work together. But generally 1 or 2 of them buy the companies out. We give them funding from the college. If they need funding, we give them so that they can run their business. And now these are very, very young students, and they are not even 18. For them to form companies and look for investment where they were asking for like 40 lakhs investment. So which company they have to form, how to do it. If we could incorporate into the curriculum into 12th, for every student, it will be very, very good input, because I come from a service family, and service families, people are scared of going into the paperwork of forming company. कि कंपनी बनाएंगे बड़ा मुश्किल है, पेपर वर्क है, कहाँ जाना है, क्या करना है, रिटर्न फाइल करनी है. तो अगर उनको यही थोड़ा सा अंदाज़ा हो जाएगा कि मैं सोल प्रोप्राइटरशिप रखूँ, पार्टनरशिप रखूँ, या लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी रखूँ, या प्राइवेट लिमिटेड रखूँ, तो उससे बहुत इनपुट हो जाएगा. जस्ट माई स्मॉल इनपुट. थैंक्स अ लॉट सर.
थैंक यू सर.
My name is Pramod. I'm a director of one of the multinational company, and it was overwhelming experience interacting with the students. I also happened to coach a couple of teams before. And what we see clearly, the vision and purpose is very clear from the Delhi government, from the Deputy CM. And program is getting institutionalized with the support of universities, and I wish and I think you also have a plan to sustain this program for many years to come through setting up incubation cell and accelerator cell, as is being done in many other countries, because these teams and these business ideas now will need hand-holding, some amount of coaching, and which they will also acquire themselves, but possibly through institutions like incubation and acceleration. So we really would request that also to start as soon as possible. Thank you, and all the compliments to all of you. I think it's the first time in India, and I'm sure there will be a lot of envy around, and many more are going to replicate this program. All
Thank
good
you.
for you.
Sir.
I'm Amit Singhal, founding partner of Fluid Venture. First of all, I would like
Could
to
you
thanks.
just introduce yourself once again?
My name is Amit Singhal. I'm a founding partner of Fluid Venture, which is a micro VC funds and invest in startups. So first of all, I would like to thanks to the government for giving us a great program for the students. And I really appreciate 2 things of the Delhi government. One is mentorship program, जो आपने अभी शुरू किया students के लिए, और business blaster. तो मेरा यहाँ पर एक बस यही सजेशन है कि जो मैंने 15 साल की अपनी स्टार्टअप जर्नी देखी है, तो स्टार्टअप्स को सबसे ज़्यादा मेंटर की ज़रूरत होती है, जो उनको गलतियाँ करने से रोके. और आप ऑलरेडी एक मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम शुरू कर चुके हैं. तो जो हमारा नेटवर्क है एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स का, और इतने सारे इन्वेस्टर्स जो इन्वेस्ट करते हैं स्टार्टअप्स में, वी वुड लाइक टू ऑफर कि हम इनको स्टार्टअप्स को केवल फंडिंग ही नहीं, मेंटरशिप भी दे सके, ताकि वो गलतियाँ ना करें जो हम लोगों ने हिस्टोरिकली करी है. तो मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ.
थैंक यू.
इसीलिए मैंने कहा था कि देखिए, यहाँ तक लाना हमारा काम है, यहाँ से आगे ले जाना आपका काम है.
मैम. दूसरा माइक दे दीजिएगा प्लीज.
Yeah, hi. My name is Preeti, and I'm chairperson of a company called Kantar, which is a marketing research and marketing consulting firm. One of the things that I look after in my role is actually the development of women in their professional careers so that they reach leadership positions. And we know through the startup system that the entrepreneurs, the unicorns, it's like a boys' club, right? There are very few women. And I think we should look at why is that so? Because it's obviously not intrinsically that men make better entrepreneurs. So I think if we can actually see it through Business Blasters, that there is a more equitable way of getting more women into entrepreneurship, that would be my, appeal.
Yeah.
Ankita, can you share the data? How many out of 126 are only women club? Because I could remember, मैं अभी round ले रहा था तो.
Yes. So sir, out of about 750 students total, about 331 are girls and about 439 are boys.
So isme Niharika ji, would you like to share something? Because I know that both entrepreneurship and equity are very close to your heart.
I think, point taken, Preeti, I think we must have more women. I think while there are 331 women in this cohort, while I walked around, I was it was quite evident that the girls were doing basically stereotyped cooking, baking, craft business, right? Which itself is something that we have to break. So the technology and all of that is mostly men, the boys, and the girls are doing the stereotype business. That's one of the things that we have often see in the research as well. I think the other thing that happens, and that might be we could make it part of our EMC curriculum, we've done some research to show that until about class 6 and 7, risk-taking ability in girls and boys is exactly the same. As soon as they get into class 9 and 10, the risk-taking abilities or their wish to take risk actually changes. And there's a significant difference in that. So what can we do between that, at that age is very important, so that the girls don't stop taking what they have. I mean, there's a natural ability to take risk, but somehow, as they become adolescents and so on and so forth, something happens that girls stop taking risk, or they stop thinking they can take risks. And I think those are some of the things we could possibly look at.
Maybe we have two star women entrepreneurs, Sujata and Tanya, of Suta Sarees. And maybe we'd like to hear from you on your experience, both as in your startup, and also because you have been part of our journey as judges on Business Blasters. And today I saw that you were going around seeing the entire stalls. So just would like to hear from you about your own journey and how we should take the journey forward of these wonderful young children.
Thank you so much. I love the question, and I would also like to say the point where, where you said that men generally bend towards tech and women choose something else. But I somehow feel business is a business. So even if, your bent is probably towards creativity or probably something like cooking, you can create a massive business out of it. So I think just encouraging girls to do what they feel like doing is, I think, the need of the hour, and we should just celebrate the fact that we are all different. We all have different energies within us. Someone is more feminine, someone is more masculine. So I think we just need to celebrate who we all are and embrace it, and just support wherever you are or whatever you want to do. Be at home, cook, or just make a business or whatever you want to. Thank you. So Sujata and I, we both engineers and MBAs, and we have opened a business that makes saris and blouses. We work with 16,000 plus weavers and artisans. And what I see is that, while making money is what they are looking at, and also providing employment, I mean, men and women are doing equally, a good job at providing employment, and they have, with the seed money that they have gotten, they have earned huge profits. I mean, all kinds of businesses. So it's amazing to see, and would love to nurture them in any way we can.
Actually, can I just add
yes,
something?
Yes, please.
I think, first of all, very valid point. So as a venture capitalist, I agree with you. We have a lot of work to do. But I wanted to just build on what these two founders just said. India's most valuable publicly traded startup is Nykaa. It's founded by Falguni Nair, and it's a beauty company. So I think, we should, and so that's point one. I think I completely agree, right? I think all entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs, should play to their strengths. I'll tell you another interesting, very important statistic. The fastest 0 to 750 crore startup built in India is founded by women, not public yet. Okay, so I think, so one of the things I think we need to do is celebrate these stories more. And the last thing I'd say is I actually went and saw every single company. I spent 3 hours in the morning here. The ones that were most aggressive, meaning at pitching, the best articulation, and interestingly, the ones that knew their numbers were all girls. So I completely agree we need to do more, but the signs are so clear, and what we need to do is make sure that they continue the journey. Because as you said, right, I think 11th and 12th, and then as they go in, but I think, look, at the end of the day, both men and women are going to be very, very successful going forward, and hopefully we'll change it. Hopefully 10 years from now, the story will be different. But the signs are very early.
Thank you, Rajan. And you talked about the journey, and I think that one person we must hear from who was with us when we started this journey and pushed us to start this journey is Mekin Maheshwari. Do I see? He was here on one of the tables. And can we get the mic to Mekin, please? And would just like, I think this journey about the entrepreneurship mindset curriculum probably started with Mekin, who pushed us in this direction. And so I think what do you think on the story so far, and where do you think this is going?
No, thank you, Atishi. You're too kind. I feel the entrepreneur here is the guy sitting there, right? That I am only the instigator. I've nudged him. I've possibly been someone who can get some things done, but the entrepreneur doing this is Mr. Manish Sisodia. So kudos to him. I think. I feel overwhelmed by what has happened. Like 3 years back, we were here launching the EMC curriculum, and in 3 years to get to this state where kids have experienced these mindsets in class through activities, done reflections, listened to over 1,000+ entrepreneurs through live entrepreneur interactions, and then gone on to do these businesses in a very, very, I feel the timing couldn't have been, and entrepreneurship is all about timing. And I feel we got the timing perfectly right between wave 2 and wave 3. These kids went out, did businesses between November and December. They had their exams after that, and then they've gone on to do this. So I feel very overwhelmed by what has happened here and the fact that this is possible. I now want to figure out a way to make this a reality for every young person in India, right? How does this become at least an experience? I actually don't care how many of them go on to become entrepreneurs in 1 year or in 2 years. They will be entrepreneurial and they will do amazing things in life whenever and wherever. But I do think that every child having this kind of an experience and a nurturing environment and the kind of teacher support and the system support that they have received, if Indian kids have this, we will be more than a developed country.
Thank you. Ma'am. Thank you very much for this opportunity for giving me. I'd like to incorporate my views as Himanshu ji has said, point of view of teachers. Yesterday I've been...
Please also introduce yourself because...
Yeah, I'm Dhananjay Joshi. I'm newly recruited Vice Chancellor of Delhi Teachers University, my dear friends. So मैं teachers के point of view से ही बात करना चाहता हूँ. निदा फाजली साहब का एक शेर है कि नन्हे मुन्ने हाथों को चांद सितारे छूने दो, 4 किताबें पढ़कर वरना ये भी हम जैसे हो जाएंगे. हमने शायद उनको चांद सितारों तक पहुंचने की जो बात करनी चाहिए थी वो अपने करिकुलम में इतनी नहीं करी जो हमें करनी चाहिए. तो मुझे लगता है कि जो टीचर एजुकेशन का काम हमारी सरकार कर रही है और जिसके लिए हमने यूनिवर्सिटी का एक सपना देखा है मनीष जी ने, उसके करिकुलम में ये बात डालनी होगी. क्योंकि जब तक टीचर अपने लेवल पर ये निर्णय नहीं लेता कि उसको बच्चे को क्या पढ़ाना है, तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप शुरू होनी चाहिए कहीं ना कहीं टीचर ट्रेनिंग के अंदर, और टीचर की एजुकेशन का ये पार्ट होना चाहिए. हमारे सभी शास्त्रों में कहा अर्थ करी सा विद्या, यानी विद्या अगर अर्थ ना दिलाए, अगर विद्या किसी तरह का कार्य ना दिलाए तो वह किसी तरह की विद्या किसी काम नहीं आती. तो मुझे लगता है कि जब हम एक देश के रूप में, एक बड़े राष्ट्र के रूप में एक सपना देख रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है ऐसे में टीचर्स को साथ लिए बिना, उनके माइंडसेट को बदले बिना, उनको कहीं ना कहीं रिस्क कैपेसिटी के बारे में बताए बिना, उनको कहीं ना कहीं एम्पावर किए बिना हम कोई बड़ा सपना नहीं देख सकते. तो इस दिशा में जो कल सरकार ने कार्य किया और जिस सपने में हम सभी अपनी अपनी कहीं ना इस यज्ञ में आहुति दे रहे हैं, इसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर टेकिंग दिस एजेंडा.
And before we invite all of you for lunch, because I can see that lunch lag gaya hai, yes, just a couple of more, but one person I think is Dr. Ritesh Malik over here. Yeah. Dr. Ritesh is someone who has been working with, he's an entrepreneur himself, but also has been working with entrepreneurs on co-working spaces. So not just an entrepreneur, but a supporter of entrepreneurs. So what do you think? How do we take these young entrepreneurs forward, Dr. Ritesh?
Thank you very much. I think this is phenomenal. The energy out here, the passion, massive congrats to the entire team of Business Blasters. I wish I was born slightly later. And मैं हिंदी में बताता हूँ, हम लोग ईस्ट दिल्ली में मेरे डैड एक हॉस्पिटल चलाते हैं छोटा सा, तो एंड हमारे देश में एक डिजीज है कॉल्ड APS, Asian Parent Syndrome. And the entire family, I have 37 doctors in my family, and they forced me to become a doctor. Now, if I had Aadmi Party at that point in time, I would have done something, I think, better with my life. And I feel, ये मेरा अपना मानना है that the best thing that happened in 2019 for the country was that the Chandrayaan failed. Failure को accept नहीं किया जाता. And वो कहते हैं ना, द्विवेदी साहब की बड़ी अच्छी पंक्तियां, कहता असफलता एक चुनौती है, उसे स्वीकार करो, क्या कमी रह गई थी देखो और सुधार करो, जब तक मंजिल ना मिल जाए नींद चैन को त्यागो तुम, संघर्ष का मैदान कभी ना छोड़ भागो तुम, कुछ किए बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. तो ये जो बच्चे यहाँ पे आज कोशिश कर रहे हैं ना, to hell with the fact whether they pass or fail, the fact that they are entrepreneurial will help us from the biggest challenge we are going to see as a country, which is unemployment in 2030. Technology disruptions will lead to conventional jobs going away. And these kids then will become freelancers. These kids then will be catering not only to India, but the problems of the world. And the question is, we don't care about how many unicorns we have. We care about how many these ये जो जिसको MSME बोलते हैं, mid and small medium enterprises, is I think they are the backbone, true backbone of our nation, which will create the maximum impact in terms of job creation, as Rajan sir rightly said. Super excited for what is there to come. Massive congrats to the entire team, Manish sir, Atishi ma'am, and Mekin. I think what Mekin has achieved is phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Hi, and I think we can end with a closing question or comment from Neeta, who's part of our Delhi Skill and Entrepreneurship University team.
Thank you so much, Atishi ji. I mean, I think we don't have words enough to express our gratitude. Professor Vohra is there, she said it. But Manish ji, our we extend our gratitude to you for this opportunity that you're going to give our children, and especially being the Delhi Skill and Entrepreneurship University, the first in the country. I'm today speaking to you as a parent, because I think the minute you said that I'm opening this out to private schools, I was really delighted. Because when I was coming here today, I spoke to a lot of my child who's in the 10th and his friends. And he said, why not for us? They said, why is it only the government schools? So I think this is excellent. And in a way, you know, I mean, of course, my child goes to a private school, but we're feeling left out. We were feeling left out. So thank you so much for including. And we wish the Business Blasters even more success. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Manishi, closing words?
I think what Neetaji said is important. And closing words, thank you very much. But I think we are starting. We are not concluding. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to invite all of you for lunch. And I think, but before just that invitation, I think this is also an invitation for a much longer journey together. As Manishi has said, this is a journey we are just beginning. One of our investors said, one of the gentlemen at the back said कि जब हमने स्टार्टअप शुरू किया था तो हमें लगता था कि मेंटर्स की सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है. तो हम लोग ये चाहेंगे कि आप सारे लोग जो यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, एज मेंटर्स, एज को जर्नियर्स, इस जर्नी में हमारे साथ ज़रूर जुड़ें, इन बच्चों के साथ ज़रूर जुड़ें. बिकॉज आई थिंक इट्स नॉट जस्ट अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ दीज 100 टीम्स इन दिस रूम. आई थिंक ये जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, ये अक्सर हम कहते हैं ना कि बच्चे देश का भविष्य हैं, पर इन स्टूडेंट्स को और इन बच्चों को देख के मुझे ये हम कह सकते हैं कि ये वो लोग हैं जो हमारे देश का भविष्य बना रहे हैं. And I think that we really should all walk this journey with all of them. Thank you, and please join us for lunch.
Thank you very much, all of you. We have experienced something so very beautiful today. this room, this entire auditorium, which has experienced some great sporting events, but now, इसने आज जो witness किया है, which is going to resonate for